Yo, yo. Hey, y'all. How we doing today? July 5th, 16 days after Juneteenth. I got time today. Yes. I'm live in KP2 Rights and on my personal page. Like R. Kelly say, usually I don't do this, but I need y'all to let me know you can hear me. Let me open up this chat. Chat. Oh, that's cool. I don't see anybody yet. I'm late. Wait for a few people and then go ahead and get started with these questions. I got a few questions in, so I'm excited. I'm excited today. I was in Wakanda yesterday. Had a great time for the 4th. All right. Like R. Kelly say, usually we don't do this, but I am going live in my private Facebook group and in KP2 Rights. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Kalia S. Parker Prayer, or KP Squared, and I teach storytellers how to turn their story into a stage play. And I'm pretty good at it. I've been doing it since my sophomore year. I would say more, but I think some of your questions are geared to my what and my whys, so I'll save my answers. So the first question came straight from my email list. So this emailer, Miss Wanda, asks, how many characters do you think it'll take to tell your story? How many characters do you think it'll take to tell your story? Thank you, Miss Wanda, for your question. I do believe that you are writing a play or have already written a play, and you want my guidance on how many characters that play should have. So my answer is simple. It's your play. Do what you want. At least, you can have a one-man show with just one character, and everyone else is audience members and or imaginary person that you're responding to, a character off stage. But I do believe that it's your play. You write as many characters as you want, but my rule of thumb is to make sure that you develop your characters. I do believe y'all hear me right. Y'all let me know. Y'all can't. Make sure you develop y'all characters. Did you hear that, Miss Wanda? I don't see any comments, so I'm assuming that you could hear me. Somebody put your thumb up. Let me know you can hear me. All right, so my next question. Yes. Thank you, Bello. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me out there. So my next questions comes from Diane. Miss Diane wrote, do you write? No, that's not her question. This one is from Mr. Reggie. I'm sorry. Go back to your question, Diane, in a minute. But Mr. Reggie, all the way from my hometown, Hollydale, he asked, do you write about family and friends in your play? Yes, double yes. I write about my family and my friends all the time in my plays. I love changing the character's name. Sometimes we have to exaggerate a bit. You know, everybody likes drama. Like, shout out to my math teacher, Miss Alethea Samuels used to say, everybody loves drama. So sometimes I exaggerate just a little bit on, a lot of bit on my characters, but I talk about my family and friends all the time. If you follow me, you know that I talk a lot about my dad, my mom, my brother. I grew up in a mostly single parent home. I also have a little sister that came along the way later, but I definitely do all the time. You could almost take my play, dissect it, and find one of my family or friends characteristics of one of my family and friends within that play. I do like to also get inspiration from random people. So sometimes I'll go to the mall, I'll go to the beach, and I will just see a person and just start writing based on the people that I see. And you can imagine the characters I could come up with at work. I'm a high school drama teacher, so you know, some of those friends are in my play. And yes, disclaimer, I exaggerate a little bit. Disclaimer, the names in facts are changed just a little bit, but I do talk about my family and friends throughout all of my work. They're my favorite people. So, and sometimes not so favorite. So that's why I enjoy talking about my family and my friends. Gonna drink. Oh, it's already open. All right. This is from Matthew. Matthew says, describe the love your husband has for you and the amount of love you have for him. Describe the love your husband has for you and the amount of love you have for him. Y'all tripping. We talking about playwriting and y'all talk about my husband. Let me see. All right, so I am married to Mr. DeMarcus A. Prayer. He is a youth pastor, educator, and a all-around clown. No, I'm serious. Literally, right now, live, DeMarcus is going to take swim lessons because one of my youngest children, Jace. Well, my oldest twin. Sorry, not Chan. My oldest twin is very, very, very much committed into being in the Olympics. He's only 4 years old, but he loves to swim. And he has decided that swimming is his new thing. So my husband, who does not swim at all, he's from Memphis, Tennessee. I say that because I'm from Florida. And we had to learn how to swim. And in school, we took swimming lessons, pool. Swim safety, definitely. But DeMarcus is literally live at the YMCA learning how to swim for my oldest twin. So, yes, like Lorraine say, it is hard to measure the love I have for my husband. It is definitely hard to describe. But I can say, like Facebook rules says, it is complicated. It is complicated. And sometimes I even write about it in my plays. Sometimes, it's like a little roller coaster, just like the plot diagram, I can't think of the word right now. But yeah, it's like a plot of a play. And sometimes it's going up and sometimes it's coming back down. We are celebrating 10 years on the 23rd of July. Shout out to us, 10 years. And I'm only 25. So, yes, it's hard to describe, but I know that I follow God and we meet each other as we follow him together. So, I hope that answers your question, Mr. Matthew, and I answered it because it is your birthday. So shout out to you. Thank you for your question. My next question comes from Miss Diane. She said, why plays, not books, poems? Dot, dot, dot. Well, Miss Diane, check, check, check. Okay, so I started writing plays when I was a sophomore in high school. I ended up in drama class, and I'm not going to get too deep because I don't want to cry because I always cry. I'm sensitive. But drama literally saved my entire life. Literally. I was struggling in high school. I was kind of bored. I only had English 3, and I had drama 2 on my curriculum. I was getting in trouble. Came across a not so good example of an educator and ended up in drama class for the remainder of my high school years. So 2 years extra of drama. And I started writing. I was able to tour with my plays, and that was the most rewarding experience I've had thus far. That was the farthest I've ever went in my life at that time. Literally, mileage, the farthest I've ever been in my life. I went to Philadelphia for writing plays. So, short story, I have written books. I've written 2 children's books. I am working on my novel now, coming out in the fall. And I write poems all the time. I write poems every day almost, and sometimes I even write poems on napkins. But I will tell you this. The communal aspect, or getting people to listen to you at one time, is seeing themselves listening and responding, people receiving the play. You cannot beat it. You cannot beat that in theater. You cannot beat that in anything. So play, like books, you don't get a bunch of people reading your book at one time unless it's in a book club. Poems, same way. So I feel like if I want to touch the most amount of people, show different amount of characters, I put them on stage. And I feel like that experience cannot be beat. You can't take that away. You get real live human beings in a room together. Some of them on stage, some of them in the audience. They experience a journey together with obstacles, problem-solving skills. And I can't get enough of it. I'm addicted. I love it. I hope everybody that's listening to me loves it. But you cannot beat that. People seeing themselves and changing themselves, hopefully for the better. Yes, somebody put yes, yes. All right. So I do have another question. I'm also watching Facebook. All right. So the last question is that Zane. Comes from Zane. I hope it ain't the author Zane. Hey, Zane. Hey. And I'll look for more questions, but I see a question from Zane. I love Zane, the author. So I like that name. So Zane says, oh, I do have another question on Facebook. I see it. Okay, so Zane asked, how does listening to a stage reading of your play help? It's a disaster. I'm just kidding. No, but it's hard. It's hard for any artist to hear their work, I would say, in the short answer. But it's important. It's essential in order to revise and improve your play. The choices that the actors ended up making in order to make your play work, the director makes, gives fresh perspective. Sometimes as playwrights, we are kind of like blindsided, and we get new perspective from the play. They said I'm not answering y'all question. I am answering y'all question. Hold on. Yeah, you get new perspective as you see the play on the stage. So you get to see the audience reaction when you do a live stage reading. Maybe I'm looking on the wrong platform. Maybe y'all are in KP2, right? So I skip over to see your questions, but I will get to it. But yeah, that's why I like live stage reading. It is not complete until you do that stage reading. You don't publish no play without doing a stage reading. It's the law, okay? They you don't want to see, you want to see where your audience, when you are doing your play, when they're reading your play, whether they keep their interest or whether they lose their interest. Because if they lose their interest, then you need to go back and you need to fix some things. If there's something in there that they do not understand, I forgot the saying that I said earlier today, but they knew that I was from South Florida based on what I said. And sometimes if you have to go back and give a definition, like this guy was in my play was he was green, like he was acting green, and that's something that we said when we were young in my hometown, like I said, Hollandale, Florida. But I had to go back and put the definition of being green in or change the word flawed, okay? And maybe people can understand it. Don't have to change all of it because sometimes it's dialect or jargon for that location. But yes, short answer, you need the stage reading. You can't go without it. You got to know what's working and what's not working. So they say I'm not checking my chat. Let me look for questions. I don't see any questions. They say, why are you not checking your chat? Let me check my personal page, see if I see any. I get nervous about checking my personal page. Let me see. Hey, Tracy. What is it like to be a mother to my beautiful, terroristic, rambunctious nephews and an educator and a wife? And when do you find time for yourself? Whew. Well, I do believe that finding time for yourself is very, very important. But take care of myself. I take care of my husband, my family first. And yeah, those twins, they come first. So sometimes I do have to choose. I am also a theater director by trade. That's my full-time job. And sometimes it gets hard. But I've learned to balance. Number one, by making certain things a priority. Like I said, my family comes absolutely, absolutely first. So sometimes, hey, you got to use some of that leave time and take off for these experiences. It's well worth it. Every moment, every memory that I get to make with them, I treasure it because it matters to them, so it matters to me. So yes, in education, sometimes it's up and down like that roller coaster. I love roller coasters, by the way, and that is my favorite pastime. I do have a bucket list where I need to get to every theme park in the U.S. to ride at least the highest roller coaster. So yes, I make time for my family first, and then everything else follows. And sometimes I don't do a good job. I go in the shower and I cry, and then I write about it. Thank you, Tracy, for your question. Brian says, take me back to the plays we used to do in church. Yes, shout out to Greater Wood Chapel AME Church, where we put on the best plays. Before, I honestly, like, I'm not lying, Brian will tell you that before I even knew who Tyler Perry was, I was writing, and I wrote a lot of plays for the church. I'm trying to see. Well, I only see one person comment on this. So, yes, thank you for sharing such a positive platform. Oh, thank you, Alfred. Uh-huh. The lipstick is popping. I think this is Urban Decay. No, this is Mac. It's Mac. It's Mac. Yes. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Now I want to make sure. Hi, Camille. Want to make sure I don't miss any questions. Oh, I did have a question from Jasmine on the other page. It asked me what made me start my business, and I'm glad she asked because I totally forgot that I need to talk about my business because people may have some interest into working with me in or writing a play. Well, how did I start my business? Well, I write plays all the time. Like I said, been writing since 10th grade. But I have found that there are a lot of books that do not talk about what we need. So I'm going to break that down for you. I do specialize in creating culturally relevant experiences. It is on my back. You can't see it because it's on my back. But my back says culturally relevant because that is what I stand on. Everything should be culturally relevant. I'm not going to write about an issue that is not affecting me. I am very big on finding a thing, finding an issue that you want to see change in, using theater as social change mechanism. And I really, really, really think that people should write their own story. W.E.B. Du Bois, that is the founder of the Black Theater Movement, and he petitioned us, or he asked us to basically do it the FUBU style, like the By Us style when it comes to plays. So, no, I don't only help African Americans write plays. I help everybody write the play. The only rule is you write your story only. Don't come writing my story. I have a calling on my life to write my story. For instance, I'm always writing stories about children of inmates or the love for an inmate because that's my story. If you don't have an incarcerated parent, then my story probably would not come from you in a book, in or a play. That's my calling. My calling was also to be a twin mom. So most times when you see me writing, I'm writing about my experience as a twin or educator. And I could go on and on and on because that's my story. But I do believe that with a little bit of research or certain type of experiences, you can write a culturally relevant script. So I have a program that I teach other people how to write plays. It's called KP Squares Write. I do have a program. It's about 12 weeks, and you could hit me up. You could go to www.kp2writes.com. But the reason why I started that business is because I wanted something that I could pass down from generation to generation to generation. And I wanted to have a blueprint. So if something happens to me, God forbid, but we all gonna leave this earth. I want to leave something that can be impactful, that can be used for social change, because there are a lot of issues plaguing our community. You know, I say it could be fixed with a dose of love, 2 scoops of the arts, and culturally relevant material. So I want to be that person that have something that could be passed down to Jace and Chance, and that they can continue to use my work and write. And a blueprint to have to run it, or hire people that writes, because maybe that's not their desire of the heart. But I do want my legacy to continue, just like Toni Morrison and some other people that have passed away. I think it was Alice Walker this week posted, and she was saying that she's still making money from her movie. Yes. So that's how I want it to be. So I don't see any questions. Please jump in on the comments if you have any more questions. Somebody said they praying some of my plays turn into a movie. Me too. Me too. Keep praying. Keep praying, Lorraine. Your prayers work. So make sure you keep praying. Somebody said, I love your book. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that's it. I have a client coming in at 8 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and prep for him. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk or my KP Squared Talk. I'll holla. Yes, my boys made me start my business.